Yo! Video games.
For example, Street Fighter V is like the greatest fucking example of we're gonna make everything super easy for everybody.
Yeah.
How happy is everyone now?
I don't feel like the game is easy. I think that they did the gameplay went more basic. It wasn't just about, oh yeah, it's super fucking easy. It's just, they brought it back down to basics as opposed to...
And Street Fighter 4 was already back to basics.
That's a lot more technical, especially with the fucking, the cancel, the fucking...
I know.
Yeah.
And that game was, according to them, back to basics.
Well,
back
because
in
of
the
2D.
day.
Yeah, because of 2D. They wanted 2D fighting back to basics.
I mean, I'm not really worried about Grand Blue because it's Arc System and they like to put a lot of stuff into their games. I feel like there's always an element with Arc Sys where they put a lot of cool shit into it. Dragon Ball has some amazingly fun and creative stuff that's sort of stifled by the way that the core system works and what is favorited in the core system of Dragon Ball between its neutral and the way certain characters are just favorited than others. Sadie, thank you, dude.
Please, let me go.
I don't know. It's like I would be so happy that if they prioritized a couple things in Dragon Ball, which is just to make the game a little bit more fun in neutral, because the combos are already really fun. I don't know, man. I try to express the way I'm feeling as much as I possibly can, but Dragon Ball FighterZ already did really good. If they have metrics to back up other things, then so be it.
Yay!
Of course it did. Like,
I was gonna hit you up to it.
Of course it is. Like, Smash has the greatest casual appeal of everything, which is all the characters, all the stages, 80-hour story mode. Like, everyone's
There is a very real possibility right now that Smash has already sold more than sold.
I can see it because it's fucking Smash. Because it's got
Smash
has the biggest
in a month on one system.
Smash has the biggest appeal because it's got fucking everyone. Like, Smash is video games, the video game. Like, of course it is. Like,
what's interesting though is that it actually sold really, really, really well in Japan.
Which is rare for fighting games.
Yeah, and it's all. Well, it is the series.
It's almost like
it is now the best.
It's almost like it has so many characters and so many stages and so many references to the entirety of video games that you would be weird if you didn't buy Smash.
Ah, you'd be the weird guy.
You would be weird if you weren't trying or playing that game in some way because it has fucking it has everything.
Why got
because I don't like Nintendo's fucking consoles.
Console Wars.
Console Wars. I'm fighting.
Yeah, Metal Revolution I think actually looks kind of cool.
Okay.
I saw a couple trailers from Metal Revolution. It looks like the spiritual successor to Rising Thunder. Curious about the. Unfortunately, yeah, Smash's online is a different story.
Yeah, that's the saddest fucking part about it.
That is the most And dude, I'm glad that people are. I'm glad that it's not just me. Like, I'm seeing threads and people are fucking upset. Like, how the hell? How the hell?
Nothing to it.
How the hell do we have this thing that feels like it was made in 2005?
Well, how the hell did Namco not do anything? Like it already sucked on Smash 4, and they did nothing to change it.
Yeah.
How?
Well, I mean, the budget for that shit comes down to Nintendo. Namco's the developer, but they only get so much budget for the online.
No, but you're still paying for someone to develop a game who knows how to do online.
Well, right, but unless you don't hire the fucking people that did it on the other games, like that comes down to budget. Like, if you spent all your money...
It doesn't matter. The point is that they didn't do it. Whoever didn't make the decision to say, hey, let's make sure the netcode's really good. Let's really make sure this is a thing.
Long story short, the netcode on Tekken 7 and Soul Calibur 6 is better than Smash.
Yeah. And Nintendo didn't sit there and be like, make sure it's as good as that.
And
we want it to be as bad. We want it to be
It boils down not to the internal developer, but the person with the constraints. Like, who is calling the fucking shots?
Yeah, the person calling the shots did not sit there and be like, I want to make sure online.
And there's
works.
a very good chance that wasn't someone at Bandai Namco.
Oh, I doubt it very much.
Like, that shit boils down to Nintendo, and that makes perfect sense because Nintendo just fucking on online never have mixed.
Yeah,
but they have good online. From
you know what's funny is that online never defined their success in their games, and that's the problem. Is they don't give a shit.
That's right, dude.
Yeah.
Online
Well,
gamer
yeah.
online.
Another example:
Like-
Pokken Tournament had great online and had some of the best matchmaking in any fighting game I've ever
Namco
played.
made that.
Namco made that.
There you go.
So but guess who was largely running that project was fucking Harada,
No.
and I don't think he
It's
had
called
much to do.
Pokken for a reason.
I don't think he had much to do with Smash.
I don't think it ended. Really, he probably wasn't aware of it.
It's
but-
funny. It's Harada is like one of the biggest game developers that's out there, and he's so down to earth. Like he understands what the people are actually looking forward to and stuff like that. But yet other developers are just like, do you not have phones?
Yeah.
Like they're so far
Apparently,
gone.
did Arms have good online after like the first week when the player population went down a bit? Unknown Fury, thank you, dude. Was it still good? Because I remember the few days I did play Arms online, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it.
Arms
It was
Online's
just
okay.
the core gameplay I wasn't a big fan of.
Yeah,
Like-
it just got old fast.
Yeah, I felt like it was an arcade game. But not like a fighting game arcade game. It was just like, oh, this is a weird, wacky thing. This is fun. Kind of done.
Arms feels like it's either should have been a pack-in or something like that, or like just sort of like a download only title. I mean, they made a ton of fucking money off it. Sold like 2 million copies.
Yeah.
There you go.
Flux also, no more
Arms
leaks.
sold like twice as many copies.
No more
as
leaks or
Marvel
spoilers, dude.
Oh, he has some.
Just suck on that fucking that bitter lollipop for a while.
Well, I think the other thing is that Mario Kart and Squid Kids, those have different types of online connectivity. Bleak Innovation, the way those games respond to each other on a player-to-player basis and a player-to-peer basis, it's a bit different than a fighting game. So the comparison is kind of unfair, especially in a combat situation where precious frames matter.
Apples and oranges.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit. It's like saying a shooting game has better netcode than a fighting game. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
They both run online, but we're talking about about a bus and a Buick.
The best online experience I ever had was Phantasy Star Online on dial-up.
Yeah.
But because of how the online works in that game, that's entirely feasible.
I guarantee if you went back to it now with perspective, it would be a lot.
PSO?
It would be a lot different.
No.
No.
When's the last
When
time
I
you played,
remember, it
Sammy?
was amazing.
Yeah.
And no.
Well, here's the thing.
Play.
You'd see fuck-ups and everything every so often, but the kind of game it is, it kind of just like preloads a preset thing into it. You're not competing.
Yeah.
You're not PvPing.
Yeah. Direct servers are not
So-
necessary for 1v1.
So the whole thing...
All it does is add lag.
PSO worked because it was just fucking Diablo.
Right.
That's why it's great, but it could not work the same way on a fighting game.
So, chat, here's a quick breakdown, and I'm going to do my best to explain this in layman's terms for just reference. If you have a lot of people connecting to a game, you generally need a server. And the reason the server is there is that the server is going to collect all the information from the players, distribute them accordingly to get the best connections possible, and then you start playing with each other. The players are communicating with the server, and the server is spitting that information out to other players, so your info, your data is shooting to a center that is then shooting back out to you and other players, right? Cool. That works for games that have a lot of players. In a fighting game, or a 1v1, or even a 1v4, a limited player base, right? These games rely on peer-to-peer, usually. And the reason you have peer-to-peer is that you're communicating with one person directly. There's no server. So, you and a guy, cool, communicate. If there's a server involved and the server's fucking over here, you to the server to the guy to the server to you, there's this triangle now instead of a straight line. There's a middleman.
Yeah.
That adds lag. And it ends up causing fighting games not to respond as well as they possibly could. This is why a thing called Rollback is introduced between the two players, where there's the game translating what could happen in the future. Very complicated. It just makes the game run better for 2 players. There's a general understanding that dedicated servers are what fighting games needs, and that's not it. It needs people designing its online modes that actually understand how the shit works. And that's the most important part.
You remember when there were when like you had like a couple of months ago lost the game and there was one guy on the list who just sat down and said, I'm gonna figure out this fucking Netcode.
For what?
Killer Instinct.
I definitely wasn't one guy, but there was definitely an effort. They consulted.
It was a pretty small team too.
It was
overall.
It was a few dudes, and I can tell you, it's only a couple of dudes on Iron Galaxy as well.
Yeah,
they're gods.
They just said, you know what? I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna figure this out. And KI had like this amazing fucking netcode.
Yes. KI continues to have some of the best netcode because they have a team of devs that understand how rollback connectivity works between players, what a goddamn desync is, and how to roll back into desyncs, and like there's so many weird technical things and expertise that doesn't exist in a lot of shit. So do you go to the effort of going to make sure we hire those people, find those people, understand how it works, get it implemented into our game? Oh god, there's a desync that happened, now we have to roll back, but that's gonna cause us CPU power. We need the CPU power to render Mario's fucking nipples.
Yeah.
Like, for example, this is why I can't stress highly enough how insane it was that Mortal Kombat 10 reworked its whole fucking engine. Reworked how the whole goddamn game works just to get rollback in.
That cost them money. A lot of money.
That cost them a lot of fucking time.
Yes.
Dude, Mortal Kombat had horrible netcode, and then they didn't just stick in GTPO. Like, they didn't just stick in rollback. To get rollback to work, you have to redesign how the whole game works.
Here's my thing about that.
The whole fucking thing works.
And here's my thing about that, and I've always wondered, did they ask WB the money to do that, or did they spend their own money?
They probably made so much money off MKX that we're like, do we spend this extra money on boats?
Yeah.
Or do we spend it on getting netcode for this game and future games?
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of...
So, the reason why rollback is difficult, Chad, is that it takes CPU, it takes processing. Like, rollback is just is an algorithm, is code that was worked by fighting game players back in the early 2000s that is able to evaluate in a single split second, in a millisecond, what could happen.
Yeah.
Like, there's 1,000 outcomes that could happen between all the inputs a player can put in. It goes forward in time. And then, as soon as you catch up to that forward moment in time, what did happen, we're going to fix it.
So let's say like
that's how rollback works. It sounds like fucking magic because it is.
If you guys ever watch a game called Street Fighter HD Remix, you'll see the characters do a move. Towards the end of the match, you'll either see the character actually lose the match, roll back, and then he's blocking so that.
And that's rollback implemented incorrectly.
Oh, incorrect.
That's rollback. That's poor rollback.
Yeah.
Is what it is. You should never see that.
Yeah.
Only in very rare situations should you see that.
Right.
And in bad connections. So, just saying, to implement that, you need to sacrifice something. Like, the game has to be designed to work forward. Like, you need to design the game to understand that at any given point when you're online, it needs to do this shit. And some devs are just like, fuck that, throw in the old online, throw in the old netcode. And that's what it boils down to. Throw in the old netcode, you're good. Would it be possible for Dragon Ball FighterZ to change to rollback? Abso-fucking-lutely! Because I don't know if you've looked at how much CPU power Dragon Ball FighterZ takes, or how much crazy texture loading, and there's nothing! Dragon Ball is all in its art style, and it's done so effectively that the game is tiny as shit, and does not take it absolutely. Unfortunately, Arc System Works doesn't like being asked about rollback netcode, and they repeatedly tell people to stop asking.
They get real pissy.
They get pissed off about it because they're in Japan, and delay-based netcode in Japan works amazing because their country is the size of California.
And
of course, bad rollback is bad.
Much better infrastructure.
Bad rollback is anything that's implemented incorrectly is fucking terrible. Of course it is. But the thing is, when you have good rollback, and actually appropriately distributed rollback net play in a fighting game compared to any other, it's way better. Like, it is insanely, like, you're getting a one-to-one offline experience. I'm playing dudes in Dubai on Killer Instinct, and outside of a couple of hitches here and there, I'm breaking light auto doubles. So, one of the few grievances I have, and I find netcode to be it's like one of my fascinations, and I find it to be really fascinating. So it was a goddamn treat to be around the Iron Galaxy guys when they were fixing desyncs over at Double Helix and Iron Galaxy on Killer Instinct, and they were like figuring shit out and just solving the old puzzle, you know, just gotta get this shit working. I loved it. Like, I loved learning about that stuff. And then all these people say, like, why is the netcode so good for a game when it comes out and then bad later? Because the player base is lower. You're not connecting to a server, you're connecting to people. And if there's less people with better connections, then you're gonna get worse connections. The way it works. NVCI has Capcom's best netcode in any fighting game they've made. It's very good. It's extremely. It's one of the things that made me keep. If Marvel Infinite had Marvel 3's netcode, I guarantee you I wouldn't have been playing it as much as I did. Well, Harry and Edo, that's actually a very unique thing for KI. KI runs buffer frames. KI technically renders at 90 FPS, but only shows 60. But it uses those extra frames to buffer what actually happened, and then roll it back to the player running at 60. Very cool. Very cool. Shit is magic, you know? Shitty glasses. And that's the perfect example that, yeah, Killer Instinct renders its image 30 times more a second than the average fighting game just for its netcode. Just to better suit its online experience. It's almost like they gave a shit about it. I would have no issues. Yeah, I think Killer Instinct in terms of like a larger fighting game, like not
like any character.
outside of like smaller games like Skullgirls and stuff, which are still big games. KI is they've done a very good job.
I didn't think any character.
Yes, Porter, thank you.
Rash.
Yeah,
Rash is kind of funny.
In the name
he's very easy to use.
They made him. They didn't do one
In
of
the
them.
name of Mugen Tenshi.
MKX has good netcode. We just talked about it because they updated the game to have rollback netcode, their own custom, about 8 months after the game came out.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, you know, like, yeah, we don't know. It could have been done with, like, the budget or plus.
I don't know if you played Mortal Kombat X when it came out, but holy shit, the online was terrible. It was so
That's why I
frustrating.
didn't try to learn any characters that had run cancels. I'm gonna play this primarily online. I'm not gonna learn.
You and 99% of other people.
Yeah, I'm like, how am I gonna learn this character where most of their combos are run cancel? I don't think so. No, I'm not gonna be able to do it. It's a hard enough concept
Hey, Trey,
already.
thank you, dude.
Adding lag to that makes it damn near impossible.
SF5 has rollback netcode, but I watched the guys, Tom and Tony, who made GTPO, who made rollback netcode. They had an entire conference at EVO last year where they talked about it, and they pretty much said Street Fighter V utilizes rollback, but they just do it incorrectly. Like, they just take, like, they have their set parameters, like, you should not let the frames go beyond this much, you should put a barrier this, use this to stop that, and they just don't do it on Street Fighter V. So you get some really funky shit in that game. And they're just like, I have no idea why they do this. I mean, because they don't know, I guess, and they could ask us at any time. But they largely fixed it in NVCI, which is funny, so I guess they know what they're doing. I guess they can't fix Street Fighter V, though. Street Fighter V can run really good online. Unfortunately, it's a very much like hit or miss scenario.
I think they just, you know,
Yeah. And I'd imagine if Street Fighter 6 utilizes MVCI netcode but better, that'll be great. That'll be really good. Yeah, correcting the rift or something like that. I love that. I was just gazing at that panel. I wish I could have saw it live, but I wasn't there.
I will. Fight on.
If we want to talk about the netcode in this game, chat, I mean,
It's pretty good.
what we would have to do is test other ones, but it's not bad. It feels about as good as Soul Calibur 6. Not as good as SC6. Not as good as Tekken 7.
That's a good call.
I'd imagine the lower quality connections are not going to be good, but the real thing you want to test is not 5-bar connections. You want to test, like,
The 1 bar.
you want to find a guy on the East Coast.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to go find a guy that's in the UK.
Are you not doing this right now?
He's like, okay, let's do that.
Speaking of netcode,
Let's do that
I
right
have
now.
ways to prevent us from getting into bad games.
There you
That's
go.
a great. That is a fantastic
That's like the idea.
question.
I'm glad Max came up with.
Oh, we are totally yes, absolutely we are.
Oh, that's why.
No wonder we couldn't
We're
get it.
about to fight some guy in Delaware, maybe.
Yeah, because I was like, why is it taking so long to find a fucking
Yeah, I
match?
absolutely am. Okay, I will turn that off. All right. As I'm limited. I have my Call of Duty blackout profile on there, so I was only getting American connections or American servers, and we were limiting ourselves to only American hosts.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can get something from the UK or something outside. Yeah, I totally was.
Yeah.
It was a good call.
Because I was like, dude, I'm not getting any matches.
There's a reason why the 5 bars were just waiting. And it was
Yeah,
like,
we were just
gonna
sitting
make
there like, what the fuck?
it was actual 5 bars, which is why the majority of our connections have been.
Well, I put it to any, and I was still getting really good connections, and I'm like, oh,
It's because it was
is
on.
that thing? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, well that's cool, but I'm just not finding anybody.
It's not the NetDuma chat. It's a Nighthawk router with NetDuma software. The NetDuma guys actually, they weren't a sponsor anymore because they got bought out. Like people bought their software to put on other routers. So that big ass router right there has NetDuma software. So all the crazy tech that was in the old NetDuma router, which was not a great router, but the software was amazing. That's what's running in routers.
So
now.
what's the budget for something like that?
Well, that router's about $350, $400. But it's great. It's an insane router. Like it'll cover everything.
Yeah. This is the casuals like the rest of us plebes on.
You can. I'm pretty sure you can get a Nighthawk router for cheaper than that.
Yeah.
But you would need a kind of a basic understanding of how to manage geo-filtering. It's not that hard.
Oh, so
They
you're
make it
doing
they
a
make
bunch
it-
of software bullshit.
It's all software.
Yeah.
Majestic 7, thank you, dude. Does the router make you have better Wi-Fi? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the Wi-Fi signal is extremely powerful. Take this shithead. We can't counter that unless he has 1 bar, right?
Yeah.
Chicken.
Does it actually make your connection better?
Fight on.
Are you using
If you have bad
custom or did you change it?
I changed
If you
it.
have a bad connection, then
I
not
changed
really,
it to
dude.
Not
Like,
default. My own.
if you have
Yeah, exactly.
funky upload that has
I was
bad
able to get cameras
packet
way
loss,
easier because of it.
you need to complain to your ISP.
I don't like the default. The default thing's weird.
Oh yeah, dude, DDWRT, I was using that shit in 2003. Way back in the day. Yeah, I actually have my Asus router as well. It's fantastic. The Tower of Mordor over there.
Yep. Router at quarter. What's it called?
The Asus router?
It's an Asus.
I need to
router.
see what it's actually.
Yeah, well, it looks like
It's an Asus RT something. But I got 2 of those big tower routers.
Yeah, big.
Yeah, a bad internet connection's a bad internet connection, and it'll help some, but you can't really fix if you have bad upload
In the name of
or
Mugen
choppy upload. Choppy upload means packet loss, chat room.
Oh,
Packet
no.
loss.
Is it bad?
No buenos.
it's like drift.
Oh, so we got a bad one.
Like I was just moving, but it was like 5 bar, but it was like.
Oh,
But it was like moving on its
where's the
own.
guy?
That 5 bar though.
Yeah, it's the catfish.
Those camera Tetsuois. Yeah.
Oh, it's camera Tetsuo.
Where are you, Camoy?
I can find out. Camera Tetsuo will tell us where he's playing from. It's a little funky.
It's just, yeah, it was. Oh god, yeah, it's weird. It's got
They
this
touch a
weird
button.
delay on it. Like got better at some matches. Like, first started it was like riffing.
It's not that.
I think just at the start when it was like loading up, like I think get ready and I was just kind of an A-way running and I'm like, oh god, I'm like ripping out to sea.
Yeah, and having the stream open will definitely affect some people's connections. Absolutely. Oh, Dan, please tell me that's the tweet that everyone should read. Please tell me that that's the one I retweeted earlier. Yes. Whatever you do, guys, go. Keats was lead combat designer on Killer Instinct. Jetstream Dan just tweeted something that Keats put out. Go if you want to have a basic understanding of netcode and fighting games. Go to that. Go to his tweet and just read it. It's really quick. It's only like a few tweets. Just read it.
You just put something out that was like,
Oh god.
This is fun though. I mean, I like it. I just want to. I want to learn it.
Yeah.
I can show you. Okay,
'Cause
well,
this
we're
one's-
both using your IU booster, so let me show you.
We could absolutely say I don't have a basic understanding of like crushes and hold crushes.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
I mean, I got some stupid fucking combos right now, but I want to destroy people in the neutral, and the neutral doesn't make any goddamn sense to me yet.
Let me Simmons after this. Let me show him. I would if you noticed what I was doing, I was throwing out overheads and lows all the time.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing anything neutral because
I mean,
stuff gets blown up. So
yeah, well, exactly. By the end, I was on a 6-game win streak, but I wasn't feeling satisfied because I just kept
Yeah,
hammering buttons on people,
yeah.
and I kept just doing the combos I was doing, and they weren't working.
Okay.
So I have a understand of the base mechanics, like the R1 shit and the hold system, but I don't understand the neutral in the game at all. But
Oh shit.
this runs way better than DOA 5 did online.
Yeah, DOA 5 is kind of a crapshoot.
DOA 5 was jittery and super delayed.
It sucked. It was.
Yeah, I remember that DOA 5's tutorial was really good, and then all that information went in one ear and out the other as soon as the online wasn't good, and I was just like,
Yeah.
oh fuck. So I'm looking forward to that. Like, I want this game to come out, and I want to learn some cool ass ninja characters and ninja girl characters and shit.
I'm guessing that's the kick, though. I might be wrong.
It's not as much just. I mean, I'm not getting satisfaction just mashing the same combo against people, Chad. Like, that's not how. Like I don't mind beating like players and ranking up. It's just that I need to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I
At a
don't.
specific level, like you have a basic understanding, but
Just level up with them. We can't play this game unless it's online right now. This is an online only demo. You're from Phoenix. That wasn't that bad. Yeah. No, Deebs. That should feel good. I mean, we're not that far away.
Where is Deeps again? Deeps
He was from Phoenix, he said.
Phoenix
I
Games.
was just walking. I'm like, oh,
Phoenix.
shit.
It might have been some syncing.
It was just, yeah, it was at the very start. I have no doubt it was, because it felt like by the end of the first round, everything was fine.
Well, they should add Pike into this game. No, this game should have guest characters. They should add the virtual fighters back.
Yeah, well, they should add Kiryu and Majima.
That would be a great idea.
From Yakuza.
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 Goromi. I was actually thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Considering how like Yakuza always themed around like these
Please.
hotspot night locales in Tokyo and whatnot, they should be in Smash.
You know what's confusing is probably the defense model. I actually don't know why. See that? So I'm throwing out overheads, mixing it up, lows.
Damn, our ping to this guy is 300. Does it feel okay, Steve?
Oh no, it doesn't.
I didn't think so.
But as long
Oh,
as
it just froze.
as long as it's not input delay. Input delay is the worst. 1 bar connection. You can actually see it there. Oh, and there. Yeah.
Okay.
Our ping to this guy is like 300 to 250 right now. It's not going to be good.
Where is he from? Antarctica? Is he like from Antarctica?
Oh god! Oh god! Invincible kick.
This is what people are talking about when they're saying Netcode.
Well, I mean, actually, I put the thing to 3, so if I can put it back to 4.
It went down though. Did you hear that? Like it started at 1.
Yeah, I got catfish with the Netcode, but
Probably maybe. You can only see Max's map is only showing me mostly North America and Europe. Like parts of Northwest Africa. I know he's not in Morocco. Hey, Zare. Or Greenland.
Chat, this is rough, but it's not unplayable. And I think that's the difference between a lot of old school netcodes where, like, the shit was fucking physically unplayable.
Not from the Balkan Island.
To be honest, it's starting to feel a little bit unplayable. Hey,
Starting to.
starting to. Like, trust me, like, before, like, it's getting worse as we're continuing to play, as you continue. Yeah, it's getting worse as you continue to play. Because at a certain point, I'm like, I can't do anything. Okay, grab. Carter.
Might be from Russia. Somebody once told me the world's gonna roll. Russia is ruling the shit.
Wow, good counter. This guy knew that shit was coming a mile away.
Looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb.
Alright, let's not get that guy ever again,
In
chat.
the shape of an L on forehead.
Simmons, what in the hell are you singing?
The Russian national anthem done to Smash Mouth.
Gun to Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
Alright then.
Or really more Smash Mouth done to the Russian anthem.
Hmm. That was horrendous.
Well, I should say the USSR anthem.